Welcome everyone, thank you for joining. Today we'll be discussing a business transformation story that is not just significant but also historic. We are talking about rebirth of Air India under the Tata Group. Air India, once a crown jewel of Indian aviation, had over decades descended into operational and reputational chaos. Long delays, poor service, and an aging fleet and financial mismanagement turned it into a cautionary tale. But in January 22, the Tata Group, India's most respected conglomerate, acquired this legacy airline and began writing a new chapter. This presentation breaks down how that transformation happened using powerful frameworks to make sense of not just what changed, but how and why. Think of this as behind the scenes of one of the boldest corporate turnarounds in recent times, comparable to Japan's Airlines post-bankruptcy revival in 2010 or American Airlines 2013 re-emergence after a major restructuring. Let's now explore how the Tatas took a 90-year-old institution and repositioned it for the modern global stage. To decode this transformation, we'll use a structured approach based on complementary frameworks. First, the PMI Framework, which stands for plus, minus, and interesting. This is a critical thinking tool that helps us evaluate strategic decisions objectively. What went right, what were the risks, and what surprised even the experts. Second, synergy analysis. Transformations don't happen in silos. Each strategic move affects multiple departments, partners, and outcomes. We will analyze how coordinated actions like fleet modernization and digital upgrades create ripple effects across operations and branding. And third, Kotter's 8-step change model, a globally respected blueprint for organizational change. It allows us to track Tata's journey from urgency to execution and finally to cultural integration. These frameworks help us go beyond headlines and see the full anatomy of the change, from diagnosis to design to delivery. Let's dive into the first step, urgency. Before transformation comes truth, and the truth about Air India in 2022 was hard to digest. The Air India was losing 3 million a day. That's over 22 crores daily. The debt burden was 8 billion and the aircraft fleet was one of the oldest globally, averaging 13 and a half years compared to the global standard of 7. Air India's market share had dropped from 35% in 2005 to just 12%. The NPS, Net Promoter Score, which measures customer loyalty, stood at negative 32. That means more people actively discouraged others from flying Air India than supported it. On time, performance was just 70%. Compare that to global leaders operating at over 90%. Why did this happen? Decades of government ownership introduced bureaucratic delays, lack of incentive, and operational stagnation. There were no innovation cycles, no competitive benchmarks, and it was a classic case of mission drift. And yet, that very crisis created the burning platform Kotter talks about, where radical change becomes not a choice but a survival necessity. Tatas understood this and used it to spark urgency across the organization. With urgency established, the next step was crafting a vision and building a leadership coalition to execute it. Tata brought in Campbell Wilson, a seasoned aviation leader and former CEO of Scoot, to lead the charge. They rolled off 5 strategic pillars, each one addressing a core problem area. Fleet modernization. They placed a 70 billion order for 470 aircraft, the biggest in aviation history. This wasn't just about quantity, it was about efficiency, brand image, and operational reliability. Service quality enhancement. They revamped service protocols, upgraded airport lounges, and introduced a real-time feedback loop to track customer experience. Digital transformation. The app, the website, the internal systems were rebuilt to reflect modern, seamless digital journeys. Organizational restructuring. Air India Express merged with Air Asia India, and thousands of employees were retrained to align with new service standards. Strategic brand repositioning. From new livery and uniforms to ad campaigns, everything was repositioned to target premium segments and reflect India's aspiration. This stage was about vision and alignment, getting leadership, staff, and stakeholders to believe in a future very different from the past. Now let's apply the PMI framework we discussed to Tata's strategy. First, the pluses. Tata addressed almost every critical pain point simultaneously, modernizing aircraft, fixing customer service, revamping digital infrastructure, and reorganizing operations. The average fleet age will come down to 5.6 years, making it younger than even some leading global competitors. This enhances fuel efficiency by up to 20%, lowers maintenance costs, and improves flight punctuality. Now, second, minuses. The biggest concern was the financial risk. A $70 billion investment for a company losing money daily, also driving simultaneous change in 5 areas: people, product, platform, processes, and brand. Brings enormous execution complexity. Success would depend on near perfect coordination. And finally, the interesting. What's fascinating in the strategic ambition, Tata isn't just fixing Air India. They're trying to make India a central aviation hub, competing with global giants like Dubai and Singapore. Their goal is to capture 30% of India's international air traffic by 2025, a huge leap. So this PMI lens gives us clarity. The risks are real, but so are the rewards. And Tata is betting big on India's aviation future.
The Vihaan.AI initiative launched in September 2022 exemplifies Kotter's fourth and fifth steps, communicating the vision and empowering the employees. This comprehensive program aims to transform Air India into world-class airlines for over 5 years through 84 distinct initiatives. It includes extensive staff retaining with over 10,000 employees completing a new service-centered courses. The program focuses on the contemporary service standards, digital literacy, and cultural transformation. Early results are very impressive. Customer complaints have decreased by 60%, employee engagement scores have improved by 35%, and Net Promoter score has risen to plus 12. The initiative includes pioneering AI-driven performance management system, setting a new standard for the aviation industry. A detailed synergy analysis reveals how various initiatives create multiplicative benefits. The new aircraft order, for instance, enables the multiple strategic advantages. It allows the introduction of 42 new international routes, improves fuel efficiency by 25%, and reduces maintenance costs by 15%, and enhances the customer experience through modern cabin features. The airline has already refurbished 40 existing aircraft with new interiors and entertainment systems, and demonstrating quick wins Kotter's 6 steps. This reimbursement program has increased the customer satisfaction by 40% on these routes while improving aircraft utilization by 22%. The financial restructuring showcases Kotter's 7th step, consolidating gains and producing more change. The Tata Group has implemented sophisticated revenue management systems and dynamic pricing, leading to a 25% increase in revenue per available seat kilometers. They renegotiated vendor contracts, achieving cost savings for 15 to 20%. Load factors have improved by 71 to 80%, which jumped from 70% to over 90%. The airline's IT infrastructure saw a complete overhaul, with 200 legacy applications being streamlined into a unified digital ecosystem like an ERP. This is led by TCS, and the IT operating costs decreased by 35%. And the broader impact of this transformation extends Air India, creating its ripple effect through Air India's aviation sector. The massive aircraft has positioned India as a major aviation market, with projected passengers growth by 7 to 8% annually grow over next decade, outpacing the average of 3.6%. The transformation has created 10,000 new jobs, and indirectly they have created 30,000 jobs. Synergy analysis shows that how Tata and Group up from the TCS handling digital transformation to Taj, aligning premium standard services, and Tata Steel providing material for aircraft infrastructure development. The privatization success became a blueprint for the other state-owned enterprises, demonstrating how private sector efficiently combined with strategic vision can revitalize the legacy organization. The transformation model has already influenced privatization plans for our other Indian public sector companies. The transformation has also strengthened India's position in the global aviation. The Air India's joining the Star Alliance, expanding international routes by over 30%. The aircraft now serves the 102 and 7 international destinations compared to 750 respectively in 2025. Looking ahead, Air India's journey exemplifies Kotter's final step, anchoring new approaches in the corporate culture. Tata's vision extends the beyond financial metrics and creating a world-star carrier feature that reflects Indian global initiative influences. They have invested in heavily in sustainable aviation practices, which has fuel optimization and operational optimization. The airline has committed by reducing carbon footprint by 25% by 2025 through fleet modernization and operational influences. The transformation faces ongoing challenges, including intensive competition from the Middle East countries, volatile fuel prices, and the need to maintain high consistent service across the rapidly expanding network. However, with strong leadership, clear strategy, and systematic execution following proven change the management system frameworks, Air India is well positioned to reclaim its position as a leading global airline. The airline's journey from a struggling state-owned carrier to an emerging global player offers valuable lessons for our organization to transform in an industry. It demonstrates that with the right approach, even the most challenging turnarounds are possible, provided with a combined strategy, vision, and operational excellences, and unwavering commitment to the change. Thank you for watching.